Hey guys. So, welcome to our first ever broadcast. What am I calling this thing? Critter
Critter
Chat
chat.
with Crystal. Welcome to our first ever Critter Chat with Crystal. Um, this month, in the month of May, we decided to do everything all about travel. And I don't know if you guys probably don't know this, but I actually am part of a mastermind group. Big shout out to our friend Bella. And in the mastermind group, we actually have, there's what, like maybe like 50, 60 other pet sitters in there. Um, and I thought it would be super, super fun to have some of these guys on to talk about what it's like in their pet sitting businesses. Um, we have people that are I know Lauren's in New Jersey. There's people that are in California. There's people that are all over the world, actually. And these guys have some of the best advice and totally different perspective on pets and animals. And so we thought it'd be super fun to start a little channel interviewing some of these awesome pet owners, pet sitter owners of pet companies. I can't say that right. So today we are so excited to have Lauren on.
Hi, everybody.
Lauren, yeah, thank you so much. So, Lauren, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and your pet sitting company?
Sure, absolutely. Well, first, I want to say thank you, Crystal, for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited to be your first guest. So, my name is
Yay!
Lauren. I'm the owner and founder of Canine Concierge, and we are a dog walking and pet sitting company based out of Parsippany, New Jersey. So, we have all sorts of services that we offer: pet sitting, boarding in my home. We do overnight sitting, pet sitting in your home. So, we cover all the bases, and we are a sort of canine concierge service. So, we tailor to your needs. So whatever you might need for your pet, we can always help you out with. We do transportation as well, trips to the
That's
groomer,
awesome.
trips to the vet. So you name it, we do it.
Mhm. I love your name. I love the name concierge. I mean, it's
Thank
just kind
you.
of all encompassing.
Yes.
So, you are in New Jersey. So, how close to New York City are you?
I'm probably about 45 minutes away with no traffic, but this is New Jersey, so there's always traffic. So we're probably about an hour
Hmm.
outside of the city.
Right.
But we do
So,
have a
so
lot of
how long?
commuters, people who commute to the city. We have a train which takes them into the city. So a lot of people in this area work in New York. So we help them out with their pet sitting and dog walking needs a lot.
That's so great. So I live in New Hampshire, and so in New Hampshire we have Boston, and so
Mm,
a lot of our clients they're traveling kind of like the same deal, like about
right,
45 minutes from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, all the way up to Boston. So
right.
it's so great to have someone like us because
Yes,
they're gone all day long.
right.
It's a long day with the commuting and everything.
Yes,
Um, so yeah, we're kind of similar in that way, and
yes,
we're both on the East
absolutely.
Coast.
And Portsmouth is lovely. I visited it before, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful
Oh,
town.
you have?
Yes, I have.
Oh, that's awesome. We love Portsmouth. Portsmouth is it's such a nice little spot. Not like
Mhm.
it used to be a little bit of a secret, but it's not so much anymore. People are
Right.
coming here like crazy. um, so how long have you been in business for?
So I've been in business for 14 years. I know I look like I'm 21, but
That's
it's
amazing.
just good genetics. No, 14 years. So yeah, we started back in 2004. So we're very excited to continue to service this area for so long.
14 years is a long time. I know I've been doing this for 10, and I feel like that's been like forever.
That's a
So
huge milestone.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. But so you know your stuff. You definitely know your stuff.
Yes.
One thing, so this month it's all about travel, right? And
Right.
like we were talking earlier, and you brought up something that I thought, first of all, that I had never heard of before. Why don't we talk about that? So I think that you had mentioned, I keep forgetting the name of it, counter
Counter
conditioning.
conditioning, correct. So
Yes. Okay. So what is counter conditioning?
absolutely. So, just to give you a little background, so my advanced degree is in pet sitting, but I did minor in psychology. So, so I'm
Oh,
gonna, so I'm gonna use some psychological terms, but don't be intimidated
perfect.
by it because
I
this
love psycho. I love it.
great.
Good.
This is actually a really easy concept to master. If you Google counter conditioning in pets, you're going to get a lot of people telling you it's a very complex system and you should hire a certified trainer. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't because
Hmm.
I am not a certified trainer. However, I have used this method and it's worked very well for me. So basically, counter conditioning is taking a negative stimulus to a dog and moving them from a fear state to a neutral state. So,
Okay.
if you think about classical conditioning, so classical conditioning is think of the word association. So, it's a dog's natural response to something based on repeated exposures. So, in classical conditioning, for instance, a dog might be fearful of the car, but it's not the car
Hmm.
itself, it's what happens after they get in the car. So, if you're always putting your dog in the car, taking it to the vet, they're getting a shot, now all of a sudden they're associating the car with pain. So they're going to have that classically conditioned response to not want to get in the car. So counter conditioning is basically changing that fear response. It's counter meaning change. So what you want to
Hmm.
do is work with the dog to change their response. So now it's a really easy method. However, it takes a ton of patience. So if you
Mm.
have patience,
Okay.
you can master this method. You have to take it slow, and it's all about progressions and moving from
Okay.
step one to step two, sometimes moving back to step one, having patience with the
Hmm.
dog and working at their pace because every dog is different. So I'm
Hmm.
going to kind of explain how counter conditioning works with travel and how you might have to use it to help your dog ease their travel anxieties.
Perfect.
So, okay. So sometimes we are lucky enough to travel with our dogs, our pets. We can bring
Yes.
them on a plane wherever we're going to a pet friendly
Hmm.
hotel or maybe traveling to a relative's house where the dog is welcome. So that makes life easy in a way because we can take our pets with us. Sometimes we're not that lucky and we have to leave our pets behind, and that's where Crystal and I and
There you
all
have
these
us.
other wonderful pet sitters come in because we can help you take care of your pets while you're gone and
Hmm.
hopefully give you some peace of mind. So,
Hmm.
the counter conditioning would work like this. So, for instance, if you are going to be traveling with your pet and you're going to
Hmm.
be taking a road trip, for example, but
Yes.
your
Okay.
dog has a slight fear of the car because,
Hmm.
as we mentioned earlier, maybe it's used to going to the vet or the groomer or other fearful situations in the car.
And
So,
so I've seen some dogs like they start shaking, right?
yes,
Like they'll get in the car and they'll start shaking or
absolutely.
they'll start panting.
Yes, those
So
are
that
very common reactions to
okay.
dogs who have that classically conditioned response.
Okay.
Some dogs, you open the car door and they just bolt in because they're used to going to fun
Mhm.
places. You take them to the dog
Right.
park, they're used to that. But other dogs,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
you put them by the car and they'll do that tugging away. So
Yes.
if your dog does that, what you want to do is you're gonna kind of break this down into intensities.
Okay.
So you're going to start at the lowest intensity. So if you go near the car and your dog is kind of tugging away, that is going to be
Hmm.
the lowest intensity. You want to start that dog off with just getting used to the outside of the car. So
Oh.
you're going to use like high desirable treats. So maybe something you don't typically give your dog, like a skirt steak. I don't know. Maybe not a filet mignon,
Hot
but
dog.
cheese always works, something like that. Liverwurst, I don't know,
Yeah.
something that the dog doesn't
Right.
typically always get, but something very special. Toys, giving it its favorite toys. Petting the dog, praise,
Hmm.
attention is always fabulous. Like I always say to use that instead of treats. But in a situation like this, sometimes you have to use treats. So you're going to take your
So
dog
would
out
you
on a
just kind
leash.
of walk around the dog, like
You're
around the car, like with the
Exactly.
tree and
You're
like
going to
giving
get
it?
the dog
Okay.
used to being around the outside of the car. And now this might sound silly
Okay.
and you might just want to skip through the step, but don't. So get
Okay.
the dog used
Okay.
to walking around the car. Um, don't do step one and step two on the same day. Don't rush through it. So
Oh,
just
that's okay. So do
ease
step
into it.
one and make that outside of the car, make that its own day. You're
Its own
just
day,
getting
its
used
own
to the car
experience.
on the outside. Okay.
Absolutely. Then
Okay.
say
Perfect.
day two, try it
Hmm.
again. If the dog does not have that fear response, not that pulling away, then you can move on to step two. If the dog is still pulling away, repeat step one. So step two
Okay.
might be now if you have like an SUV and your dog is used to being in the back, um, what you might want to do is just open up the back of the SUV, put the dog's favorite blanket in, put some toys in, put a water bowl in, put his favorite food, or as we were talking about, like the high desirable treat inside the back, and have the dog hop in or help the dog in. If the dog doesn't want to go in, again, just keep it outside of that area. Now,
Hmm.
if your dog won't be in the back and is going to be wearing like a harness or a restraint attached to a seat belt, that in
Yes.
itself might be a whole other counter conditioning situation that you have to
Oh,
do inside the
wow.
house to get the dog used to wearing that contraption.
Wearing
So
that specific harness that they would be wearing in the car, right?
exactly,
That,
exactly,
okay.
because that might
Okay.
be part of their fear as well. Maybe they don't like wearing
Hmm.
that type of harness. So you can get them used to that.
Hmm.
Again, go through it with the treats, rewards, petting, praise. Um,
Okay.
Now, another thing you have to do with counter conditioning is try to figure out where is this fear coming from. Again, some dogs are just scared of the car because of what the end result is, but some dogs are
Hmm.
actually afraid of the movement in the car. Think about, do you keep the windows down? Is the wind blowing on the dog? Maybe they don't like that. Are your windows up? Maybe they prefer the windows down. Are you blasting your music? Maybe that aggravates them. Maybe it's the sound. Maybe you put on some
They
classical
don't like
music.
reggae music.
Yeah,
I
so
thought all dogs liked reggae music. I'm just kidding.
yeah. So so you have to kind of also figure out that what is triggering the dog's fear response. But
Okay.
so
Okay.
once you move on, step three would be just to take a short trip where the end result is a reward in itself. So take them to a dog park, take them to a hiking trail, take them to a local beach, somewhere fun, so that they start to make the association that when they get in the car, the end result is going to be a reward in itself. So
Yeah.
that would be step three. Now, once you've moved
Okay.
on to that and your dog is now, you're opening the car door, the dog is jumping in, ready to go, then you're ready for step four, which is going to be your trip. So, so taking a
Exciting.
dog on a road trip isn't as easy as opening the door and the dog jumping in sometimes. Sometimes we have to work through all of this, fear that dogs have and anxiety, and we can't blame them. I mean, it's partially our fault because we do have to take them to the vet sometimes, and
No.
they do make these associations. So in that instance, that's how counter conditioning would work with a trip. And the same thing if you're taking your dog on a plane, you would want them to get used to
Hmm.
the carrier that they're going to be in beforehand. So you can use
Hmm.
these same exact steps inside your
Same
house.
step.
Yeah,
Okay.
just break it
Okay.
down, just getting them I'm talking like a month before your trip, start this, like just, not a day before. And then
Hmm.
another example is, so dogs have separation anxiety. And
Hmm.
when you leave them with a pet sitter, and I'm sure you've experienced it too, where the dog, gets dropped off and is kind of in panic mode. Um,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so there's definitely ways to work through that. And what I
Hmm.
always recommend when I have a new dog coming to my home is we break it down again into four progressions. So the
Okay.
first step is um, you're not just going to drop your dog off and I'm going to watch your dog for 2 weeks. We're going to break it down. So you're going to come and meet me. Typically, we do outside of the house. If the weather is nice, we'll meet outside of the home. So it's a very non threatening environment for the dog.
Oh, that's
Um,
a good idea.
so
Yes.
I'm sorry, can you excuse me for one moment? Speaking of dogs
Yes.
at my house, I heard the doorbell.
Lauren has to go grab a dog really quick.
I'll be right back.
All right, get out of here. Skedaddle.
I'll bring her in here.
Okay, good. While Lauren is going to grab her wonderful puppy that's going to visit, I just wanted to say, how awesome is this? She's like super, super, super smart when it comes to this stuff. And I think it's great having this four-step method. And it sounds like you can apply this method to anything, whether it be to the car, to the plane, like she said, to separations anxiety. I never heard of this before, but it's really great. Oh, look at the puppy.
Hi, so this is Scarlett. Scarlett stayed with us
Oh,
a ton of
hi,
times, so
Scarlett.
she's our wonderful little house guest. But see, she's crying now because her mommy just left her. But I'll let her run around a little bit. Uh, so, so as I was saying, when we have dog guests, and I hope she doesn't knock my tripod over. But when we have dog guests, we break it down. So we'll meet them first outside of our home, just like out in front, so they get
Okay,
used to the
great.
house itself.
Yes. Okay.
And Scarlett, I know she wants to sit on my lap. The joys of pet sitting. She's so cute.
Oh, she's so
See,
cute.
Scarlett, look, you're on TV. So when the dog is used to, the house itself, then
Right.
we'll tell them to
Hmm.
come back and drop the dog off for 1 to 2 hours. This gets,
Okay. Oh, that's a
you know,
great idea.
this lets us observe the dog with the other dogs
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
in our home environment. It gets the
Hmm.
dogs used to the concept that they're being dropped off, but they are going to be picked up. Now, if the dog is
Okay.
in panic mode and is having separation anxiety, we repeat
Hmm.
step two. Come back the next day,
Okay.
drop your dog off for another couple hours. This creates the association in their mind that they are going to be picked up. This is not forever. Mommy's coming back for me. Mommy or daddy is coming back.
That's
Step
great.
three
Okay.
would be leaving them for one night with us. Again,
Hmm.
the first night is always the hardest for dogs. However, if they are picked
Hmm.
up the following day, that creates a stronger association that they're not being left, they're not being abandoned.
Hmm.
Step
Hmm.
four is the extended stay. So they can come back and stay with us. We've watched Scarlett here has been with us. I think one time she stayed with us 4 weeks. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so you don't want to just drop your dog off, and expect them to be okay for a month with us. That can, of
Right
course,
off the bat.
create
Right.
anxiety in a dog if they don't know what's
Hmm.
happening. So again,
Hmm.
we'll use when the dog is here with us, we use a lot of training reinforcement and treats. We tell their owners to bring their favorite treats so we can, get them more comfortable with the idea. So
And I bet that's important too, right? Making sure that they all have all of their favorite stuff, their favorite
absolutely.
toys, their favorite treats, their favorite blanket,
Right.
all that good stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. I love these tips, Lauren.
Thank you.
These are really great. Like, I know that sometimes, like, we just started doing boarding. So we just started
Mhm.
having it so people can come and drop off dogs
Right.
at our houses. And this is great. We actually only have one person doing it right now, and she's been doing it forever. But this is great for us as a business too, to
Mhm.
work through these steps. I think it's genius. I didn't even think about making it a process because it is a
Right.
process.
It is
It's scary for
absolutely.
the dogs. Yeah,
It
they
is,
don't know
and
where they're going.
you can't blame the dogs, like they're
Hmm.
being dropped off, they don't know what's happening. So you want to make it a
Right.
positive experience. And when you are traveling, and also like when you talk about separation anxiety, we think of it from the
Hmm.
dog's point of view, but think
Hmm.
of it from the client's point of view as well. They are experiencing separation anxiety from their dogs. Hi, Scarlett. So
Oh, Scarlett.
she loves.
Scarlett
She
is the
just wants all the
star of this
attention. She
show.
doesn't want me talking to you. So yeah. So the clients experience separation anxiety as well. And when you can go through these progressions, and they can come and pick up their dog and realize my dog is fine. My dog had a good time. When they go away for that extended period, they're going to have so much of a better time on their trip, not having to worry about, is my dog being taken care of? Is my dog panicking? So it's a positive experience for the dog and for the client as well.
You bring up a really good point that sometimes it's not just the dogs that have the separation anxiety, but it is the client as well. I
Right.
know when I travel, I mean, I have a wonderful staff, but I still get nervous about
Right.
leaving my guys. So
Yep.
you're right, going through this process is not only good for the dog, but it's good for us humans as well.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, like, clients will drop off their dogs and they apologize for their dogs, and they say it's probably my fault that my dog
Hmm.
is having separation anxiety because I spoil my dog. And I always tell them, well, you should spoil your dog. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. And you just need to work through it. And it's nothing impossible.
Hmm.
Nothing is impossible. Every dog can be worked with. And sometimes you do need to enlist the help of a trainer. Like I said, I'm
Hmm.
not a certified trainer, so I can give you helpful advice, but you can
You've
always
only
find a
been
good
doing this
trainer.
for 14 years. You
Yeah,
don't know what you're doing.
right. So, So all of my advice comes from pure experience.
Mhm,
However,
mhm,
some dogs do have true anxiety, and in that case, you would have to visit your vet and talk to them because some dogs do need to be on anti-anxiety medication,
mhm.
as do some humans, you know. So
Yes,
sometimes
yes.
it's not enough to use like counter conditioning, but it's a start. It's definitely a starting point.
I think it's the best way to start. And yeah, and if you're going through all those steps and it's really not working, then maybe we do need some doggy Xanax. I don't know.
Not
Maybe
always
that's
a bad
something you
thing.
need, you know? But at least you're starting in a place where you can build off of.
Right.
Um, Lauren, thank you so much.
Oh, thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
having me.
much for coming on and sharing all of your wonderful advice with my audience. I know they're really going to appreciate this. I know that we all kind of struggle with this, when we're leaving our pets, and I think a lot of people will use this method. I think it's fantastic. So thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you. And do
coming
you
on
mind
with
if I
us.
plug my blog?
Of course.
Okay, so if you want some more information, we do have a blog on traveling with your dog and taking a road trip this summer. So you can visit my website, www.canineconciergepets.com/blog or blogs, which it's failing my mind at the moment.
I love it. No, well, so I'll actually put a link to this
Thank
on
you.
the broadcast so that they can just link right to it. That
Beautiful.
is fantastic. I love that you have the blog, so you guys can go and we'll link to this in the underneath here. So go, and I mean, this girl Lauren's smart. She knows what she's doing, and I'm sure if you have any other questions, if anybody wanted to contact you, I'm sure you'd be willing to help with them. Any questions
Absolutely.
they might have as well. All right. Well, you have a fabulous Friday. I hope everyone has a fabulous Friday. Thank you again, and we'll talk to everybody soon.
Thanks,
All
everybody.
right. Bye, guys. To end this. um. I don't know if we ended this or not.
It
You guys
still
be
says
getting
live. I think we're
you
still
guys be
on.
getting some. Oh, we're having blooper section. Bloopers.
Fucking go raw.
Okay, peace out, guys. I think I got this. Are we still live? Okay, and live. This